Hey, how are you? At least I can make trouble here. Ow! I just freaking hurt myself. At least I can make trouble here. Freaking TikTok. It's funny that they remove or they suspend me with one account and at the same time they gave me access to live with that little account. And I was like, why do I got this? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna push to the limit. I want to try to do it on my computer. But usually you have to have 10,000 followers to do that. Nope, they gave me that too. It's like they suspend my accounts and let me have other accounts so I can keep being bad. I don't know. It's weird. How was your day? Did you do something fun? Or did you just chase old ladies around? I wish I had an audience for this one tonight because this one would might even get me in trouble on YouTube. We'll find out. I've had a lot of people say to me in my life and on TikTok a lot too, and on social media a lot that I say the stuff that other people want to say, but they won't say it. Well, that's fun. Tomorrow night, I don't think I'll be home till like 8 or 8:30 tomorrow night. I got my grandson's football game. Dog grooming. Do you do it or do you do it or you were taking somebody's dogs to have it done or whatever? Or do you actually do it? Because man, my poor little Yorkie, I shave her and she comes out looking terribly, but that's my fault. And I don't think I'll ever be better at it. I'm really not good at it. But yeah, people have always told me, you say the things that other people don't want to say or want to say but aren't willing to say it. Yeah, it usually gets me in trouble. Oh, so you need to come groom my dog. Just drive out here. It's not that far. You'll be all right. You know how much a groomer charges to do my Yorkie around here? And I have to, by state rules, my dogs have to be up to date on all their vaccines in order to go get groomed. So I take that Yorkie, she'll cost me $80 plus a $20 tip, so $100. Oh my, she says. Yeah. Amy, when I say to people, I've said it on here, I've said it to you, I've said a lot of things. My area is my area is priced like basically if you lived in LA, but I live in the middle of nowhere. Well, see, still $50 plus a $10 tip, right? So $60. I mean, I would hope they give you a tip, or at least $5, so 55. Or do they not tip you because you're the one doing the work? Like, I do work in people's homes all the time, and I never get a tip. Yeah, me too. I'd rather have referrals. I'd rather have I mean, referrals are why I am able to do what I do. It I don't I don't advertise. I did at one point. I did advertise, don't get me wrong, I have, but I don't advertise my real world job. I just don't. I do it. I show up at people's homes and I do the job, and it makes them happy. And so then they refer me to their friends because most of the guys that show up at people's homes to do the jobs, I'm not gonna say that I'm some type of talented human being at anything because I'm really not better than anybody at anything in this world. But I see the work the guys do, and I don't think it's because they don't care, or I mean, because I think that they can do better work. I think that most of the time it's because they don't care. They don't care to do good work. And that seems to be epidemic in our world, not even, just with guys that do home repairs and stuff like that. Then go all the way to waiters and waitresses. It doesn't seem like waiters and waitresses try very hard anymore either, and at least in my opinion. I'm guessing I sound good because you are here and you are talking to me and you haven't said, Brandon, I can't hear you. Is it loud enough to make my recording? Okay. Because I haven't even made it to you yet. Here we go. Finally. There I am. You know what's kind of cool? Um, because I use a Fire Stick. Okay, yeah. Because I use a Fire Stick upstairs in my bedroom, I don't my direct TV is only downstairs. Um, when I was playing one of these videos to myself and trying to edit it, it was like, "Do you wanna put it on the TV?" And I clicked yes, and so then I watched the whole video on the TV. It was like, "Okay, now I can see it at, like, 65 inches and see how bad I look." I don't look all that terrible. I mean, I know that I I think that probably I'm probably, like, my worst critic. I'm probably more of a critic than most people, and I really didn't look too terrible even on the big screen, so that made me happy. I mean, I do the best I can with what I got, right? Alright, well, I guess we could go on to this. This episode's interesting. Like I said, I wish I had a whole lot of people around, even the people that disagree with me, because this one could be some very entertaining conversation coming out of my mouth. That's the thing is everybody's gonna look at you, they're gonna be like, "You can't say that." "Yeah, I can. I can say whatever I want." You don't have to listen. I don't really care. Right now, all we're doing is recording this for the most part. Unfortunately, we're not getting enough viewers, but, um, why can't I find, my episode? There it is. The Racism Podcast. I'm about to get in trouble. Here, I got it all here. Yeah, yeah, I got it all. So, let's see how bad I can do at this. Yeah, I mean, I look as good as I'm gonna look. Welcome to Taylor Family Blue Collar Conversations, where real men talk about real life. This is from a father of 6, a former alcoholic, an angry man who spent years carrying pain he never talked about. But I've worked hard to change, to grow, to become the man that hopefully my children will be proud of. This show is the one for the ones who are still fighting, the blue collar dads, the sober warriors, the men who feel alone but keep showing up anyway. We don't fake it here. We don't sugarcoat it. This is for the ones who carry more than what they say and still get the job done. From our family to yours, let's start the conversation. So this episode is brought to you by TaylorFamily.com and TaylorFamilyTools.com. Please check them out. If you believe that racism only flows one direction, you've been lied to. If you think only white people can be racist, buckle up. Today, we're diving headfirst into the uncomfortable truth. Racism is alive, but it's not just coming from the people they tell you to hate, what the media covers, and what they bury. They tell you America' biggest threat is angry white men. Me, right? They tell you racism is a one-way street. They tell you black, brown communities, they're always the victims. But they sure as hell stay quiet when the narrative flips. Consider the following incidences. Ohio track meet stabbing. A black teenager fatally stabbed a white peer during a high school track meet. National media coverage, almost nothing. Families raised huge amounts of money with their GoFundMe after their son committed a murder. Las Vegas beating in 2024. 4 black teenagers beat a white student to death. The teens pled guilty as juveniles, avoiding adult sentences. Barely a whisper. Baltimore youth crime. A sentencing project study revealed how local media underreported violent crimes involving black youth, even as crime rates spiked. Tennessee school shooting, 2024. Black shooters in a school attack, buried coverage compared to the endless spotlight on white shooters. Massachusetts attempted drowning. White teenagers attempts to drown a black peer. Immediate national coverage, endless media loops. Van Jones of the CNN says, "We must be more patient and forgiving when marginalized groups commit wrongs. The harm is rooted in historical trauma." I'm sorry, there is not historical trauma anymore, y'all. Slaves haven't been owned for a long, long time. Let's talk about Whoopi Goldberg from The View, who, by the way, I hear is in the middle of losing an $80 million lawsuit for defamation. That's going to be fun. When she loses, I hope it opens a floodgate of lawsuits against all of the communist view hosts and pretty much everybody on CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, the AP. Yep, pretty much all of them. Whoopi says it's not racism if you're responding to centuries of oppression. Guess what, y'all? I've been oppressed for centuries. My tax dollars have gone nowhere I wanted them to go. I was oppressed. I have to pay my bills. I don't get free Medicaid. I don't get my home paid for. I don't get my Obama phone. I don't get taxes back. I pay them in. I don't get any of that. I'm oppressed by the way the system works. So, guess what? My responses will be 2 centuries of oppression. When the media decides who deserves outrage and who deserves forgiveness based on race, that's not reporting. That's race baiting. And they continue to do it. The Media Research Center came out yesterday and stated that 92% of all media coverage of Donald Trump has been negative from the time he's been elected. With Biden, it was 40. Do you see a difference? 92% negative against Trump in 100 days. 92% negative. Biden, 40. They didn't talk about anything he did. They hide it. Let's talk about privilege. They call it equity, but if you're white, they call it your fault. Affirmative action, decades favoring non-white students. The Supreme Court finally struck it down, but too late for thousands of unfairly rejected students. Corporate DEI hiring. Companies like Amazon, Google favored applicants by race. And yes, I'm on a Google platform right now. And I'm saying it. Google favored applicants by race. They admitted it openly in their public diversity reports. Hundreds of grants existed for Black or BIPOC, which is people of color, students. A white-only scholarship would spark outrage lawsuits, media coverage for days, months, and years. But it's okay if you're a person of color. Joe Biden in 2020 said, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. That's a direct quote, y'all. Get as mad as you want. Jill Biden in 2022, his wife, actually the person probably that was our president. The diversity of the Latino community is as distinct as bodegas of the Bronx, as beautiful as blossoms of Miami, and as unique as the breakfast tacos in San Antonio. That's the Latino community to her. The average blue collar worker, white, Hispanic, black, is sweating it out. No privilege checks, just broken backs, calloused hands, and bills to pay. Where's their privilege check? Where's their headline? The real face of blue collar America by the numbers. Let's talk about it. We're going to talk about the people who built this country. The numbers are true. The numbers are real, and they're accurate to today. Workforce statistics from the BLS from 2023. So now this is only 2 years ago. So that's recent enough. Blue collar workers, white, non Hispanic, make up 64%. Hispanic, Latino make up 24%. Black, African American, 10%. Asian and others, 2%. White and Hispanic Americans combined equal 88% of all blue collar workers.
When everybody freaks out and says, "Oh, we can't deport the illegal immigrants," 24% of the blue collar workforce is Hispanic or Latino. Probably 90% of them are legal. 10% of them need to go. But the reality is 64% are white, non Hispanic. There'll be some openings for more black African American to get into the job since only 10% actually do the work for our country. Fox News 2024 panel. Here we go. This is a Fox News one. You guys can all hate on me for this one. The real America isn't obsessed with race, it's obsessed with survival. CNN Business 2022. White and Latino workers are disproportionately represented in manual labor fields compared to corporate and tech sectors. Joe Bear from The View, who I hope gets sued. I hope she loses everything she has. Maybe if they got better educations, they wouldn't be doing those jobs. You hear that trash? You all on the left idolize that woman. She's a scumbag, and so are you. They mock the very people holding this country together. Context matters when it suits them. The media loves to scream context matters, but only when it lets them excuse evil. Whoopi Goldberg on The View, right out of her mouth as she's losing her $80 million lawsuit that I'm so excited for. Well, it's not racism. It's man's inhumanity to man. It's different. So if it's black on white crime, it's not racism. It's a man's inhumanity to man. It's different. But if it's white on black, it's racism every time. Van Jones. We need to look at the systematic issues that lead marginalized individuals to act out. It's because they don't work. Get a job, then you won't act out as much. Don Lemon during the 2020 riots. Context is important. Sometimes protests are messy. Change doesn't come quietly. They were burning buildings down. People were getting hurt in every town. There were injuries, there were murders, there were cars vandalized, there were homes vandalized, there were businesses vandalized. People lost everything they had because they burned their business down. And Van Jones says context is important. Sometimes protests are messy. Y'all turnabout's fair play. Be careful. Karma's a bitch and she will come and get you. Joy Bear from The View. She's talking about looting here. I want you to think about this. If you reverse this in any way, property isn't as important as people's lives. Sometimes people have to be heard. They're looting, and she said they need to be heard. Nobody stopped to talk when they were looting. They were running. They weren't being heard. White perpetrator, condemn immediately. Black or brown perpetrator, excuse, justify, forgive. You want real equity? Then evil is evil. No matter what skin wraps around the body committing it, evil is evil. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. If you do wrong, if you violate the law, if you hurt somebody, you should be dealt with, and in my opinion, the strictest way possible by the law. Why this matters and why I'm here talking because nobody else seems to want to do it. Silence isn't kindness. Silence is just straight up surrender. If you're scared to say it, then you're surrendering. If you're afraid somebody's going to get mad at you, then you're surrendering. If you're scared you're going to get canceled, then you're surrendering. Grow a sack. When we let double standards slide, when the media lies about who's evil and who's innocent, when judge when we judge crimes by race instead of character, we kill justice. This isn't about whites versus black. This isn't about left versus right. This is truth versus lies. Straight up 100%. Facts versus fakes. Real Americans, white, black, brown, Asian. are out there every day working, bleeding, struggling together. The only people profiting from the division, the politicians, the media, the elites, they divide us because if we realize it's us against them and we stand up, what is it? There's a scene in A Bug's Life and Ants both, I think, where they talk about if we stand together, we will do okay. If the American populace stopped looking at each other because of their color of their skin, where they live, how they act, and we all figured out that the real deal is to take care of our country, rebuild it in a way that it works properly for the people, by the people, things would be better. If you're tired of being lied to, if you're tired of being blamed for the sins you never committed, if you're tired of watching real heroes be forgotten, well, criminals are celebrated, like the young black man in Ohio that stabbed a white man. And the people came out in droves to support the black man that stabbed the white young man. They raised him so much money, it basically put a bounty on the heads of white children. And I've had people say on posts on social media, good, I'm glad. Okay. At every rally gone on in the past 100 days where they're all out there complaining about Donald Trump, the left wing agitators say they want war. I've already talked about this before, but the largest army in the world is the American hunter. The second largest and scariest army in the world is the blue collar Americans. Because most of them are hunters, a lot of them were soldiers, a lot of them were police, a lot of them live different lives, and now they're working again for a living. Guess what? Most of them vote the right direction. When that war breaks out, it's not going to be child's play. So let's be careful with what we wish for. So it's time for us to stand up, not with violence, not with hate, not with truth, or I mean, with truth, with courage, with unity. My side, me personally, I've been attacked for at least 8 years. Through the first Donald Trump presidency, I was attacked constantly by the left. Through the Biden presidency, I was attacked constantly by the left. This second Trump presidency, I am watching the left get burnt down and I'm loving every step of the way. Every judge that gets arrested, I love it. Every time they get arrested, every single one of them that gets arrested makes me happy. Whoopi Goldberg probably going to lose an $80 million defamation lawsuit. Good. I hope one comes for Joy. I hope one comes for Don Lemon. I hope one comes for all the people that just straight up make up lies and report it as facts every day. They cover up all the crime from a certain colored people. Now we can talk about why they cover that up, why all of that, in this closing, what is the reason for the cover up? Or the reality of the reason for the cover up is because the crime is so large and so rampant that if the people heard about it and they actually did a breakdown, which they're out there, the media just doesn't want to talk about it. If they did a breakdown of the crime, they would see where it comes from. In my home state, or in the state that I live in currently right now, which is Nevada, 90% of our violent crime comes from people that lived in or relocated here from California. It's time for us to put up a border wall between California. All the violent crime comes from somebody that currently, lives in, currently, or moved from California to Nevada. Either way, they're California crimes in our state. They're crimes that are bred by a government and a populace that is basically insane. California's lost their mind. They're losing at everything. They're burning down their own cities so they can build new cities. That's what they do. So they called me deplorable, they called me broken, they called me privileged, and they called me a racist. The whole time I just kept rebuilding the fucking country for them. The whole time I did all the work that they didn't want to do. In the time that I've been doing this type of work again after I left the state, I've had one job that went bad. And when I was picking my stuff up to leave that job, I saw a sign in the corner that said Trump loves or love Trump's hate with a big rainbow flag. And she told me on the way out that I was a racist and that she was going to sue me. I haven't been to court yet. I haven't seen the lawsuit yet. I'm sure it's coming, and I hope it's soon. Because right now, the temperature in the country is in the right direction to where when I walk into court and say this is a political hit job from a crazy left wing communist against me because I was a Trump supporter, the judge's going to have to listen because it's being proven that this is the case nationwide. It's being proven every day that this is the case nationwide. It's not just me. With that, thank you all for being part of Taylor Family tonight. This one was short, and maybe some of you appreciate that. I will do some editing and get stuff posted again. I appreciate all of you. Anybody that watches these, I appreciate you. Amy, I appreciate you the most because you're the only one that shows up. So this episode was about racism. Tomorrow night, I'm unprepared. Tomorrow night, breaking down Dear Alcohol by Dax and the war inside too many men fight alone. You know, this is a good song, but the message behind it is pretty amazing. Most men don't talk about it. The war inside, the silent battles, the addiction, the anger, the regret. At Taylor Family Blue Collar Conversations, we don't fake it, we face it. Because rebuilding hurts, but so does dying stuck in the same old pain. If you're ready to fight for your life, your family, and your future, join us live Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 8 p.m. Real men, real talk, real change. We will see you all tomorrow night. Amy, thank you. I love you. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow.